Hey guys, welcome to South African Coin Talk again. I hope you all enjoyed the previous video that we uploaded on coin grading, which was a introduction into coin grading, and I think it was well received by many of you. And as promised, we said that we would do short bursts of this series, and we're actually ready now to do the next phase of coin grading, which will be this live recording and uploaded to the YouTube channel. So it will be in 3 parts, and I will try and share that with you. But before we go into that, I just want to say a big and massive thank you to Professor Michael Laidlaw, who has been assisting me with this South African Coin Talk channel. And Michael is instrumental in doing the graphic work that you see on the page, the banner, the thumbnails for each of the videos, etc. That is Michael's work. So he's working with me to try and sustain this hobby and to try and promote it as best we can. And I do hope you guys are really enjoying this channel and finding it useful, because that is what our intention is, to try and put enough numismatic talks and videos out there pertinent to South African numismatics that everybody can enjoy at their own time. I must say that our YouTube channel is gaining momentum. We've had quite a successful viewership on most of our videos, so just keep it up. One of the things that we do recommend for everyone is to subscribe. It is important that you subscribe. The more subscribers we have, the better for the channel, and you will be notified of any future content. So please subscribe. The good thing about YouTube is that if you have a smart TV, you can actually watch the videos on your television. So if you just log on to your YouTube channel on your smart TV, search for South African Coin Talk, and you'll find all the videos that we've uploaded in that channel, and you can go and watch it at your leisure. So that's a plus factor. You don't have to watch it on a cell phone or on a portable device or your computer. You can watch it at the comfort of your home, in your lounge or TV room. So yeah, guys, the other thing is that please, when you get the links to these videos, please share the links with as many people as you can and get them to subscribe to our channel. Like I said, subscribing to the channel is important for the future of this South African Coin Talk. So without further ado, I just want to thank Craig Nicholls again for his contribution. He's kindly done 3 short videos for us today, all the way from New Zealand. And like I said in my previous chat, I regard Craig as one of the best graders that South Africa has produced, and it's unfortunate that we lost him to New Zealand. I do hope, Craig, that you are still involved in numismatics there and keeping the South African flag high. So guys, without further ado, I do hope that you can enjoy the rest of the videos, and I'm going to share my screen and get straight into the coin talk.
Hey guys, it's Craig here. Welcome once again, Nanette. We are just going to be posting the second video to the one that we did a little while back about coin grading. We're just going to be going into a little bit more detail on what we first spoke about. Whether you are an experienced collector that have been doing it for a number of years, or you are a newbie who's just starting into the market and you're wanting to grow your collection, welcome. If you are on this Coin Talk channel, then obviously the coin collecting bug has bitten, which is done to us all, and it's a fantastic hobby to be in. Yeah, so numismatics, if you've never heard of that before, it's a term used for people who deal and collect coins. If you're in the industry, then you also refer to as a numismatist. Now, those are two words that you don't want to try and say after a couple of beers, because guaranteed you'll get them wrong. But yeah, it is an awesome hobby. So in this video, we're going to be talking a little bit more about the Sheldon scale grading system. What you can do is you can just put that into your Google search bar, and you can actually, it brings up a list of what the Sheldon grading system is about. Divided into different categories, from your proof coins to your min staked coins, and then your almost UNC or AU coins, and then it goes down the scale, which we'll be dealing with a little bit further. I also want to mention Brian Hearn's catalogue from the coin shop. When we were grading at Sangs, and obviously the guys still do it now, we always used to put the two grades on a label after we had graded the coin. So we'd have a Sheldon scale grade, and then we would refer to Brian's book, because over the years Brian has always mentioned proof coins, uncirculated coins, extra fine, very fine, and fine coins. And then obviously the extra fine and the VF coins have been subdivided into EF plus, EF minus, or VF plus, VF minus. So it was always important for us at Sangs just to have the two grades on the label, because like some of the old school guys were not really afraid with what Sheldon scale is about in it, and then they could still see Brian's grading on the actual label itself. So for our purposes today, I'm going to be referring to some of the images in this book that's been brought out by Professor Frans Milan a few years back. It's an awesome book to have. There's a major amount of information in this book, and if you haven't got your hands on one of these, I don't even know if there are a couple that are still floating around, but it's a really fantastic book to have. A big up to you, Frans, for the work that you did. Yeah, another thing just wanted to mention is, as Anthony correctly stated in his last video that we posted, grading coins it's a subjective subject. Everyone has got different views on grading. That old saying that says that beauty is in the eye of the beholder is so true, and that's really imperative even when it comes to coin grading. I mean, what I believe a certain grade to be, somebody might have a different view on it. That's why it was very important that when I was grading at Sangs, at that stage, Glenn Skuman was there, Michael Kaplan, and Alex Aruzzi, when he was with us. There were about 4 of us that were grading, especially the high-end coins. High-end ZAR coins, which are limited quantities made and are in good condition. You've got to kind of be spot on when it comes to the grade, because that coin, for example, you get 1 or 2 grades out and it drops a major amount of value, especially if you're dealing with coins that are like your 500,000 up to over $1 million. You've got to be pretty accurate with your grade. So that's why, even if need be, if we needed an extra opinion, we would get in another expert, and sometimes even 5 of us would look at, for example, a felt point or a Burgers point. So guys, yeah, as I say in that, we'll go into this a little bit further. I'll try and be as pinpoint as I can. I don't want to blow it out too much. I don't want you nodding off on me. But we will just go into this a little bit further. So yeah, let's do that.
Okay, guys, if you bear with me, I will put the second part of the video up and we can proceed.
Right, guys. Just to start off with, I just want to draw your attention to this proof Kruger Rand. Now, when we're speaking about the Sheldon scale grading system, we basically range from a PF70 coin down to a PF60 coin. In the previous video, I did mention something about Obviously, when proof coins are struck, they're struck on highly polished dies. So basically it gives quite a different effect to the coin. If you can see this example, a proof Kruger Rand, for this instance, you see how Kruger's image is basically sandblasted and frosted, and how it actually stands out. You can see the lettering, and you can see the perfect shine that is in the actual field of the coin. In my last video, I did mention the hourglass effect. If you take a coin and you basically just move it from side to side, you'll see what we refer to as an hourglass effect that runs through the field of the coin. Now when that field of the coin is virtually perfect, and you've got a clear hourglass, then you know you're dealing with a superb coin, which will either be proof or uncirculated or mint state. Now, as I mentioned, this is a proof Kruger Rand struck on highly polished dies. Being proof, the state mint might decide on manufacturing a couple of hundred coins on those first set of proof dies, and it's very important that when striking a proof coin that it's struck more than once. So it's basically 2-3 times that it's struck, which basically will bring the motive up quite a bit, and then also obviously your lettering and all that would be a lot sharper. What the guys have got to continuously look at is there's a thing in the die making industry that's called starlights. So effectively in the field of the coin, you will kind of see these stars that start coming out from the die itself, which then basically means that, of course, obviously these coins are struck individually. The machine's not on an automatic feed. Those dies have got to be taken out. They've got to be repolished and sandblasted again in order to get rid of that starlight. So if I'm working on the Sheldon scale grade and I'm looking at this proof Kruger Rand, if that coin is a perfect coin, no flaws in it, it's 100% of what you're kind of looking for in a grade, then that would be a PF70. If it starts sliding down the scale, going down to PF60, 68, 67, or whatever the case may be, you might pick up some of the starlights in the field of the coin. There might be 1 or 2 little markings on the actual motive of Kruger, for example. So then effectively with the Sheldon scale grade, we're working on percentages. So if you can imagine PF70 as being a 100% coin, if you start picking up 1 or 2 flaws in the coin, then it's obviously not 100% anymore. It might go down to say 90% or 80% in your eye, that you reckon that there's a couple of flaws. Then if it's 80% of what it's supposed to be, then you would grade that as a PF 68, or go down, you know, if there's more flaws to the coin than that, it might even go down to a 62. So it's important to understand with the Sheldon scale grading system that when you go down the scale, it's basically 80% of a perfect coin or 70% of a perfect coin to your eye that would bring it down from say a PF70 down to a PF 68, 67, 66, and so on and so on. When we spoke about dies, Professor Milan's got these couple of images over here. These are obviously just standard dies, which there's no sandblasting or frosting, but you can see a difference between the proof coin that I mentioned beforehand, all that sandblasting there, compared to the normal die. So if this was a proof die, then obviously in that area over there would be sandblasted and frosted, just to give you a little bit more of an idea. With this page over here, there's a range of just normal uncirculated Kruger Rands. But once again, if you look at the image of Kruger and the Springbok, there's no sandblasting or frosting. Once again, for example, if I'm grading this coin, I will start off as in my mind as a MA70, which is your highest of your uncirculated grades, and then you kind of work down from there, depending if you're picking up any flaws or any markings in the field of the coin. The strike might not be as good as obviously those first issues, because as I mentioned before, your proof coins are basically struck only a couple of hundred of them. Your proof and uncirculated coins are struck for collectors, so they're not put into circulation. So if you're a newbie and you've never heard of those terms before, obviously proof, uncirculated, they're basically produced by the state mints, they're not put into circulation. So that's where the Sheldon scale grading system would work, from PF70 downwards, and then in your uncirculated coins from MS70 downwards as you start picking up a couple of flaws and sharpness in the field that's not really there. So that basically gives you a little bit of a view on proof and uncirculated coins. Now we're just going to go to look at a couple of ZOR issues. Just bear with me. Okay, here we go. Now guys, I just hope you can see a little bit, I'm sorry about the image here that we're going to deal with, but what I have over here is blown up versions of the 1900 point and some of the blank points, the rim point, and there's the rimless point. Now, what I wanted to just bring to your attention is, obviously with this point with ZOR, remember I spoke about with grading and that you're looking at the beauty of the coin, the strike of the coin, the luster of the coin, looking at the field, and you're looking at the high points of the coin. Now, for example, with this image over here of Kruger, you can see Kruger doesn't have a full head of hair like in that proof Kruger that we saw a bit earlier. There might be a little bit also above his eyebrow, might be a little bit of a flat spot. But obviously with gold and being ZOR, obviously those coins are treated a little bit differently to, for example, grading George V coins or Union coins, for example. Because obviously these things have been manufactured in those particular years, and obviously your die making process and your striking is not up to obviously today's standards. So I wouldn't say you want to be too lenient, but you want to give the coin kind of the benefit of the doubt. So as long as Kruger's, for example, got sufficient hair in his hairline, at least I would say, 60-70%, then obviously to our minds it's going to be an MS coin. Okay, and then obviously there's some other factors you're going to be looking at. Like I mentioned, you're gonna first of all take the coin, you're going to turn it around, and you're going to check the teeth of the coin. You're going to put it on a scale. You're going to check that the weights are fine and that it's genuine. Then you're going to start looking at certain points of the coin, the high points that I mentioned before. But in my mind, as long as there is some hair image on Kruger, would signify to me that there's not a lot of circulation that took place. So then the chances of that being an MS coin is pretty good. If, for example, there is less hair, then you would start obviously thinking to yourself, there's more circulation that happened there. Then it'll probably drop down to an AU coin. So if the hairline itself in there is pretty good MS, if it's not so good and it's showing signs of wear there and a couple of other images on the high points are a little bit flat, the letching is not so sharp, there might be a couple of little markings in the actual field itself, and it doesn't have that luster, then it wouldn't be an MS coin. Then it'll drop down to maybe an AU58 or down to an AU55. If you're going to the like XF coins, then I would say on ZOR, Kruger's hair is very, very faint, and you might pick up a little couple of strands. As I said, there'll be maybe another one or two small markings. That's on the obverse side of the coin. On the reverse side of the coin, you might look at the oxweg, and you'll check at the wheels, you'll check at the eagle itself, and look at various other parts of the crest and that. Anything that's showing more signs of wear, of being highly circulated, for example, then it might be in that XF45 or even the XF40 range. Now guys, one thing I want to, I know it might be a little bit difficult to see on these Carl Ponder here, but for example on this coin over here, these particular coins have got those what they refer to as scraper marks on the coin. It's basically in the manufacturing of the coin. I want to use that as an example, and also you get certain blanks, which I'll show another image a little bit later on in the book, where a blank has got certain surface hairlines which run in one direction of the coin. Now, as I mentioned, obviously coin making and die preparing in the old days and blank preparing is totally different to what it is today. I don't want to knock any of the grading companies out there, but we used to see at Sangs where Kruger pounds used to go to NGC for grading, and some of those coins would come back as details grade. For example, I mean, I saw a coin, a rimless point, like you got over here, this blank point, where it's got scraper marks. So we know, like, these are basically part of the actual process when these coins were manufactured, these blanks were manufactured. And the actual coin itself was referred to as a details coin, because obviously of those markings. Now, it's you know, you're not really grading a cull point, but essentially you are authenticating it. But I remember one of the grades that EGC came out with, they had a problem with the scraper marks. What I've also noticed, in my previous video, I spoke about cleaning coins. And if you're using the wrong cloth, and you basically, that's where those what are referred to as hairlines, the hairlines that come over the surface of a coin, that runs basically in the same direction, as if someone's taken a cloth and they've kind of rubbed the coin instead of dabbing it when it's cleaned. Now, if you can imagine, for example, this Kruger pound, if this Kruger pound had been cleaned after it had been struck to get a mark off, and the wrong cloth has been used and it becomes a details coin, you'll find that you'll have your surface hairlines that will go across the whole obverse of the coin, basically running in the same direction, because that's the way it's been rubbed. Now, we've seen blanks where they've been cleaned in that process right in the beginning. So there are, for example, a couple of marks on them that basically run horizontal, like hairlines and that. And then that blank is basically put into a collar, and that coin is struck. So you'll immediately know the difference. If a coin has been cleaned, as I said, you'll have the surface hairlines going over the whole motif of the coin. If the blank was cleaned and not the coin, you wouldn't have, for example, in this instance here, you wouldn't have hairlines going over Kruger's image, but you will pick up hairlines that will be in the fields of the coin. Now, that will immediately signify to you that it was the blank that was prepared that way. It wasn't the coin. And what happened then in the past, NGC, for example, would throw that out and say that the coin is a details coin and it's not gradable, which is not the case. I've mentioned it, I know a couple of guys have mentioned it in the past, the true collectors and guys that know about ZRR coins and the way they're manufactured and how they're supposed to be are in South Africa. They're not in America. So it's a bit harsh for NGC, for example, and again, I'm not knocking anybody, it's a bit harsh for them to throw a coin like that out and say that it's been cleaned. And that, again, if you're, because you can imagine, for example, on this blank, it's got the hairlines on it. When that coin goes into the press and it gets struck, your details of Kruger get struck into the coin itself. So you'll pick up those hairlines in the field of the coin, not on the motif of the coin. So the coin hasn't been cleaned. If he's got hairlines over the whole image, then it has been cleaned. That's just something that I want to do, bring out to you. This was also quite an interesting photo that Franz said in his book, or basically the original Schultz. Well, basically the details. What's mentioned over here is it's a kind of a blown up image. There you can immediately see, for example, if we had a Kruger pound that came in and there were marks like that on the head, then obviously the coin has been damaged. Very difficult to then send that through, you know, and say that it's will attract a certain grade, because obviously it's got quite bad markings on it. With ZRR coins, a person's got to be a bit careful, because you don't want to necessarily just throw a coin out and say it's not gradable. Even if it means grading the coin, but bringing it down a few notches, you know, that to your first eye, you think to yourself, oh, this coin looks great. It might be an MS62, but then you might have a couple of marks on the face of Kruger or whatever the case might be. As long as they're not bad gouges in it, then we would have still deemed to have graded that coin. But then you kind of bring it down. You know, instead of saying an MS62, you might bring it down to say an AU55. But you know, you rather want to give the coin a bit of a chance. In this image, once again, we've got a pond. And again, for example, it might be difficult to see in the video, but you can see the actual field of the coin doesn't show as much luster as it would if it was like MS. You can see, for example, Jan Kruger's image as well. Section of his hair has lost its bit of luster and a bit of detail worn there. Image of the crest itself is not as sharp. So you know, obviously that would all come into play of the grade of the coin. As I mentioned before, if he's got a full head of hair and nice luster to the coin, then you'll be dealing with a good MS coin. If a lot of his hair is not there, but there is still a couple of strands, then maybe, you know, around the MS60 or maybe an AU58 range. And then obviously then you're looking at a couple of other details, you know, around the rim of the coin and landings and things like that to make your decision. I just want to refer to another image, another interesting one. It was in this book. Here we see a range of Kruger Rand blanks. I want to use this as an example, even if I'm referring to Kruger pounds as well. It's just obviously the blanks in this picture are a little bit more bigger and better to refer to. Now, you can immediately see, for example, a coin like that, a blank like that, just basically shines out. If you might be able to see, for example, this particular blank over here, there you can see it's got those hairlines in it, but this is in the process of them making the blanks. These blanks, for example, when they're made, they go into special tumbling machines. They tumbled in order to clean, just to make sure that they get all the burrs off the side, and they're nicely edged and polished as such. But as I mentioned to you, if you look at that blank over there, it's got those lines in it. But I bet you if you take that coin, you put it into a press and you mint it, you will effectively only have those hairlines coming in the fields of the coin. It won't be on the motif of the coin. So that coin would still be gradable. Yeah, so basically those were some of the images that I just wanted to chat about. And we'll kind of just take this further in a next clip.
Okay, guys, if you bear with me, I will put the final video up.
Yeah, guys, thanks very much for taking the time just to have a look at this video. Apologies about the actual picture quality, for example, of the images that I was showing. I mean, like, that book is a superb book. It's just a little bit difficult, you know, showing it in a video form. But I think you've got a kind of an idea and an overview of what I was kind of referring to. So in a nutshell, Sheldon scale grading system would range for coins that have been manufactured in limited quantities that are not put into circulation. Those would be either your proof coins, your proof-like coins, or your MS, your mint state coins, which are of those categories that would go from a 70 down to, say, around about a 60. And that's kind of just depending on the actual wear and circulation of that particular coin. If it has been circulated, for example. Starting at, as I mentioned with the book of Francis, in that if you're looking at coins which are virtually perfect, then you would have a 70 range. And then to your eye, and that as you start picking up a couple of flaws, it might still be maybe 80% or 70-60% as you go along, ticking the boxes and finding a couple of faults with the coin. That's when it goes down the scale. 66, 65, or whatever the case may be in proof or MS. coins that are put into circulation, then that's totally depending on how they've been circulated and the time that they've been circulated and how much wear that coin has been given to that coin. So for your circulated coinage, you would start on your AU58, which is your coin, which is just under MS, still showing a little bit of signs of circulation. Then you would go down to a 55, a 50, and then under that you would go to your XF coins, XF45, XF40, and then down from that would be your VF coins, and then finally your F coins, which are coins which I don't want to say that word on the video, but you can imagine what I'm referring to. They're not in good condition, they're F4. Okay, but anyway, and then even underneath the F coins, then you would have your details range of coins which don't get graded. If the coin has got a rim nick, if it's been dropped, if it comes out of jewellery, it might have clasp marks on the rim of the coin, it shows damage, it'll have scratches in it, then those will, or if it's polished and cleaned, then those would be details coins, so those coins would not be graded. Would you want to grade all your coins? If somebody had to come and ask me that question, I would say no. If your coins are rare and their conditions are extremely good, then yes, it's worthwhile grading that coin. But guys, you know, if your coin that you know has been circulated, there's millions of them in circulation, it might have a value of 20 cents or R1, there's no point in going and grading that coin. Because at the end of the day, all the grading companies have got fees to incur, so they're going to charge you a fee for grading a coin. So whether you're paying 50 or 55 Rand in order to grade a coin, for example, like one of the heavy circulated coins, it's pointless grading that type of coin, even if it's when there's major mintages of them and they're not worth anything. It's like, for me, to grade a 5 Rand coin is to be pointless once they're out of circulation. It's got no point in doing that. So yeah, but again, you know, it's important to get advice. If you've been in the industry for a long time, great. If you're starting out, it's always good to get advice from a collector that you might know in your area, or be in touch with the Association of SAND, the South African Association of Numismatic Dealers, and again, also, you know, keep in touch with this channel, South African Coin Talk channel, which obviously there's going to be more and more videos that are going to be uploaded. There might be upcoming shows in your area that you can pop in. I know Durban and Joburg shows are always on the go. Cape Town now and again, but you just check with your local dealer. And yeah, as I say in there, guys, if you want to spend cash on real collectible type coins and rare coins or bullion coins like Krugerrands and things like that, or silver Krugerrands, be in touch with a reputable dealer or a collector that you know. If you're looking for current day proof coins or current mintages and that, then get in touch with the guys at the South African Mint. If you haven't been to their premises before, they're in Centurion. It's an awesome place to go and visit, and go and get some more information and ask the guys there. So guys, yeah, thanks for your time. That brings this video to a close. I hope you never nodded off and you were still with me. Big up to everybody, all my friends and family back in South Africa and that, and my family I refer to in the numismatic world. I really met a major bunch of good guys over the years, and girls for that matter as well. Just also bear that in mind. It's not always the guys that are collecting. There's some awesome women out there that have kept the flag flying for numismatics in South Africa. The likes of Gail Bowles and Natalie Jeffy, just for example's sake and that. So yeah, guys, continue with your hobby, and if you want to post any comments in that, or you've got any questions, you can let Anthony know. And once again, I just want to say a big up to Anthony for this channel, and so thank you, mate, and thanks for the opportunity, and yeah, everybody take care, God bless, and stay safe. Ciao.
Okay, guys, there you have it. our continuation in the grading series, and we hope that we can still expand on this and go further. So we're busy doing the background work to see how best we can facilitate and give you guys more information on grading and what it entails. So leave it to us, and we'll keep this channel busy. We'll keep it active, and I do hope you enjoyed that. So without further ado, guys, just remember, subscribe, share the link, and more importantly, you can watch these channels and the video on your big screen TV if you've got a smart TV. So thank you very much for your time. I hope you enjoyed that. And until next time, happy collecting, guys.